Howdy, y'all. I'm Danielle, and we have a special guest.
Hello.
This is my youngest sister, Jade.
Nice to see you.
And recently, I usually have like a script that I've tried to be following, but we are just gonna talk and freestyle this and see where it goes. Again, feel free, say pass. Don't answer that if you don't want to answer it. So grown up, we have a very large age gap. I think there's like 13 years between it.
Yeah, I'm turning 23 this year.
And I'm 35, so do the math.
Yeah.
And there's quite a big age gap. And when she was born, I was going through my own thing. You're closer in age with my son. I think there's like 3 years, but
5.5.
yeah. There's not. He's not.
Yeah.
I remember. I have a picture of you.
I
and
was
you're-
like 6, and when he was born, like 5, 6.
No way. He was born in 07.
I was born in 02.
Okay, I'll have to do that math. I can't do it on
7,
top of
6,
my head.
5 years.
Really? That's crazy. But yeah, so they're closer in age, and I want to talk about school, growing up, and just like the differences. So I had an IEP. I was in special ed growing up, and I feel like just a horrible older sister. And I'm trying to now have that bond and sisterly connection that I don't feel like I ever had with, honestly, any of my siblings, and always wanted a bond like that. So you guys are along for the ride, as long as you're okay with that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see where this goes. So tell me about school. Like, were you in special ed? How did the genes hit you?
No, never was in any like special ed class or anything like that. I definitely had like a difficult time with being able to pay attention because of ADHD and other things. But once I got into high school, that's when I was having a lot of like hard times with depression and other stuff like that. So that's kind of around that time where they had decided that the mental hospital and other stuff would be a good option, and then that's when they put like an IEP or 504 or something. They tried to.
I think it was a 504.
Yeah, they tried to put one of those for me with high school, but I was already too far gone at that point. And
You
then
were never too far gone, but I get it. I understand. I get the trauma.
I started out so strong that it was like my second year of high school, and then I was sent to the mental hospital without
And you
them
went
even.
to BC, right? We went to the same high school.
Yeah, no, and I had no say in that. It's supposed to be a counseling appointment, and then I was told the counseling appointment might be an all-day counseling appointment. Then I was told to gather some clothes because it might be an overnight counseling appointment, and then I was stuck in there for 11 days. So that was in the beginning of school too, when everything's
Do you remember
coming
the name of that in Phoenix, the place you went to?
I don't.
Was it Aurora?
Maybe I could ask.
I only ask just because this, and that's okay. You're right. Anyway, this is the channel, and I want to give some information about the place you were at, because I know that might be some comments or questions, and I do want to address those if they come up.
I know it was one. If you remember the one where.
I think it was Aurora Behavioral Health Center, because honestly, that's where I went. I didn't know we had family. It doesn't surprise me, but I didn't know we had family.
That was the whole reason that they were able to get me in, was because mom's sister worked there, so they were able to just like slide me right in.
Gotcha.
But no, with that being in the very beginning, I mean, they tried to help with like the 504 after that, but like with how bad my ADHD was, and feeling like I just wasn't going to be able to be successful, because in that beginning portion with school, that's like when it matters the most, especially with high school. I mean, you have like those first 2 days where they give you papers, and then like that second day they're making you do assignments, you're starting your stuff. So it just didn't necessarily work out. Plus there was like all that stuff at home too, where they had,
which didn't help, because
yeah.
and I feel horrible because I did know this was going on, but at the same time I had my own stuff with my own son, and just trying to deal with my own trauma, and then honestly at the same time I'm trying to protect my younger sisters. But looking back, how was I going to do that if I really wasn't there? Which, again, this YouTube channel is my way of healing and understanding the pain, the suffering, my emotions. So that's why I asked my sister to be on here to see where this goes, because this is healing. It's bonding to me. I hope you maybe feel the same.
No, definitely. But yeah, no, I didn't ever have any like specific things to help with that, and I would have figured that they would have looked into it, especially with like ADHD and other stuff, but other than them putting me on that one medication when I was really young.
I was going to say, I do remember, and you were it just knocked you out.
It just made me go to sleep immediately.
Ritalin.
I think it was Ritalin.
And it just knocked you out.
They didn't do it correctly. I'd be fine. 5 minutes later, curled in a ball on the floor sleeping. So they just took me off of that medication
I do
and then
remember that.
never put me on anything else and never really did anything else with it.
So I do remember our mom saying, after I was like, what's wrong with her? She goes, I'm scared to try another medication. And I've already always had my IEP, and I was in special ed at the time, but I was not diagnosed being ADHD, and I did not have my Adderall at the time, because I currently take 30 milligrams of Adderall twice a day, and this is like what kind of what Ritalin I think I think it's like its sister drug. If you don't are good on one, you're taking the other one.
I'm not sure.
But it's crazy how people's bodies can act differently on these things. But yeah, it knocked you out.
Adderall before, and it didn't do the same thing to me. It just basically made me really quiet and sit there and just kind of like feel very awkward to myself. But I don't take anything for my ADHD or anything like that. Like I said, I haven't been medicated for it.
Yeah, you're right though. It knocked you out. It zombied you.
I mean, I'm so used to functioning how I do now that even if I did start to take ADHD medication, I know that I would feel really weird, and I wouldn't know if it would be a thing where it's just going to be for like that first month while you're getting used to it, or if I'm going to be switching through so many different medications, and at that point I don't want to put unnecessary medication in my body that I don't need if I can still technically function.
That is great, and I support that 100%. And all I can say on that is from someone who is Adderall positive and supportive, is that I agree with you. I was there. It's medication after medication, and you're finally like, I'm just done. The only thing I can say is it does work instantly if it's supposed to work for you. If it is properly prescribed, you will instantly know that it works.
Mine was never properly prescribed. It was other ways. So I'm sure if it was properly prescribed and I was given a direct amount and other stuff.
And
like
I'm a witness. It wasn't right for you.
No, it would be a lot better if it was like properly prescribed and other stuff like that. But it was just kind of like.
And again, I'm not saying that's our parents' fault. It's not. Our mother followed the doctor exactly like he told her to prescribe the medication. Yeah. If anything, I think our mother did what she should have done and had her taken off of the medication because it zombied her. If anything, a lot of parents, that's what they look for. To them, that is the solution. Fix the problem. They're not a problem anymore. I am grateful that our mom took her off that, because that's not the solution. That is not fixing the problem. Might fix the problem to the surrounding people. That's not love and support either.
No. No, definitely not.
What else? I totally had a blank. Did it affect you from middle school, like when you start school, to the time they tried to give you an IEP? Was it kind of like, I don't really understand this, what's the point of this? Because I don't want to say relied on mine as like a crutch, but I know that I needed it, and I voiced myself that no, I need this. I have a mental disability, I need this. Did that ever happen for you?
To a certain point, I could understand a lot of stuff, but then it also came down to like my ADHD, and like it's like I couldn't get myself to focus. And then when I started to not be able to understand stuff, I just kind of like got extremely discouraged, and I felt like I couldn't do it anymore. And then it just made it really, really difficult. I'm just kind of surprised that with them knowing about the ADHD and other things, that there wasn't maybe some more push for 504 and something like that would be able to help. But no, it just, certain things I would get it, and then it would get to like a certain point, and then I just couldn't understand it anymore. And classes were always so overpopulated with so many kids, so it's difficult for the teachers to be able to sit one-on-one. And a lot of the time too, there are so many teachers in the system that just don't want to be there, but they don't want to change career paths. So it's very difficult to find a teacher that is able to sit down and help every single student, or is just willing to sit down and help every single student.
Yeah,
so
I can get that.
It was always back and forth. And then in like high school math, I would get a subject, and then the very next one I wouldn't get it. Then the very next subject I would get it, and then I wouldn't get it. And it was always just a pattern.
That's how I felt with spelling. But what do you mean there's 5 ways to spell a word? It's
but
stupid.
Luckily with that one, I had a friend that sat at the table with me, and we were opposite. The one that she would get, I wouldn't get, so we would just be able to help each other that way. But that was my only saving grace with it. But yeah, no, it definitely would have been nice to have some sort of help and other stuff like that. And then by the time that I got that specific help was when I had
there was other problems going on.
Well, I had moved to online school, and then at that point the online school was a lot easier, and then I had gotten kicked out of the house at 16, then I moved up here, and then going back and forth with our grandparents.
That's a whole nother story. If you guys are interested like this, Put down in the comments anything you would
Excuse
like
me.
us to talk about. But that was a huge trauma for both of us, was what she just talked about.
Yeah.
Being not lapped back into the house. So
Yeah. No, so then just going back and forth with them, and they were helping her sister build stuff. Not good Wi-Fi. Wasn't able to be productive in school. Never was able to
You
finish.
need Wi-Fi for school, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't get on the Wi-Fi unless it was connected with like an Ethernet cable, and I didn't know why.
Interesting. So I was already in Illinois by this time. I wasn't even in the state of Arizona where this was all going on. And let me address something really quick. I have gotten a comment that I need to be more private with my information. My channel is totally about mental health awareness. But, how I usually do that is through my channel, but I love the outdoors. It's part of me. It's who I am. Yes, I do disclose some of my locations. If it's at a certain campsite or, event, I'm not there. I don't plan to go back there anytime soon. You will not find me in that area. Everybody knows I'm from Arizona, and in some of my previous videos, I did some time over there in Illinois, but back in Arizona now. Anything else you want to share? I don't want to cut you off, but
No, you're good.
I want to kind of keep other topics and some information for other videos if you want. So
No, that's
thanks for
good.
being on.
Of course.
Hope everybody likes this. Subscribe, let me know. Bye.